Gomadi ma'am. I hope there is a network problem in your side, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Gayatri, ma'am, you can start now.
Yes, thank you, sir. Good evening, everybody. It gives me immense pleasure to be a resource person for today's session. I thank Star International Foundation for Research and Education for giving me a wonderful opportunity. Today, I'm just going to talk about strategic thinking skill. It's mandatory for every human nowadays to get upskilled. Only then they can actually survive in the field of work. So strategic thinking skill is nothing but design thinking. Only the thing is we need to think out of the box. So just a meaning of design thinking. Design thinking is a human-centered approach that solves complex problems and integrates the needs of people with innovation, which radically transforms the way problems are solved. So identifying some problems and then solution for that and thinking in a different way, that's called design thinking. So some of the world's leading brands have been adopting to design thinking. So start with Apple, Google, Samsung. These are actually the legends. So they have been adopting design thinking in their process of making products. And not only business companies, it's also universities which is actually adopting design thinking. Stanford University, Harvard University, Imperial College London, and Sistri Institute of India. All these universities have been following design thinking for years. And before we go into that, we'll know why it is so popular. So in essence, design thinking is actually, it revolves around a deep interest to understand the people for whom we design products and services. So before producing a product, a business enterprise has to first design to whom the product is going to be designed. So when the needs and requirements of the people are understood, then the product can be designed accordingly. So in that way, they have to develop empathy with the target users. So again, it enhances our ability to question what is going to be the problem and what are the assumptions and how the implications are going to be. So it proves to be useful when you tackle problems that are ill-defined and unknown. When problems are ill-defined and unknown, when you use design thinking, then the result is awesome. It involves ongoing experiments through sketches, prototypes, testing, and tries of new concepts and ideas. So all these things are just process of design thinking where you use these things and you get an out-of-box thinking. So why design thinking is important? It's always human-centric techniques. So they always check for the needs of human, the requirements of human, and it's an iterative process. It actually redefines the problem. So problems are redefined so that the actual solution is actually been found. So when you redefine the problem, it will pave way for getting solution. So it's always solution-based approach. And design thinking develops empathy with the target users, like hands-on approach on prototyping and testing. So they have to go for designing of a product which actually meets the requirement of the people, and the testing is also done before it goes to the market. So these are the components of design thinking. So it's very effective approach to solve business problems. There are three major components of design thinking. There should be technological possibilities of producing a product which will actually meet the needs of the people. And obviously that will give business success. And it has to meet the user needs. So any product which a business person is producing, that has to, at the end, it has to meet the needs of the users. Only then the product gets survived in the market, or else it will be thrown out of the market. So not only surviving in the market, it has to satisfy the needs of the people. So every intangible ideas gets into a tangible product only to meet the needs of the people. So let me make it simple. I'll go with a story. I think everybody likes to hear stories. So this person, Albert Einstein, is the one who invented theory of relativity. We all know he's a famous scientist and he has invented theory of relativity. So in this story, after inventing theory of relativity, he was asked to be a resource person or a speaker in various events. So wherever he goes, he will talk about theory of relativity generously. And he takes his driver also with him wherever he goes for the session. So wherever he goes, he will explain the entire things about theory of relativity. His driver used to hear all the sessions of Albert Einstein, and almost his driver knows everything about theory of relativity. So one day, this Albert Einstein was planning to go for a session to talk about theory of relativity. So more number of audience were there. So he was getting ready. At that time, the driver said, every time you used to say, talk about theory of relativity, everybody can actually speak about that. What's new in that? Then he said, Albert Einstein said, I am the one who invented theory of relativity. There's no one better than me to explain this concept. The driver said, I can also do better than you. Then it was a challenging moment. So what Einstein said is, okay, in today's session, instead of me, you will be going as Einstein and explaining theory of relativity. That's how Einstein said, and the driver also agreed. And this driver went as Albert Einstein. And he had a lot of confidence because he has heard n number of sessions talked by Albert Einstein. So he knows all the points which was discussed by Einstein. So he started talking just like Einstein. Everybody believed that he's Albert Einstein. And, like this driver knows all the question and answer session also, like what are the prominent questions asked and how Einstein will answer. All such things he knows. And at the time of question session also, he was answering all the questions. And Albert Einstein was sitting at the end of the row and watching what the driver is doing. And in end of the question session, one kid stood up and asked, I have a question. Then the driver asked, like the one who's acting as Albert Einstein asked, yeah, you can just shoot me a question. But the question was a new question, which he does not know because this question was not asked by anyone in any of the session. So he does not really know the answer. But what he did is, at that moment, he has to answer for the question because he has went to the session as Albert Einstein. So out of the box, he thinked and he said, it's a very simple question where my driver can actually answer. So at that moment, the driver is Albert Einstein. So here, at the moment, standing on the stage, he did not stumble. He simply said, it's a very simple question where my driver can answer. This is actually out-of-box thinking. I hope you would have enjoyed this story. And to make it more, I will go with one more story. So with these pictures, let me explain. Please visualize the entire story. There was a merchant who's actually a business person who's doing a business. This business person has borrowed some money from the king of that particular city. So he had some debts to the king. One fine day, the king has approached the business person for getting back his debts. But the business person is not in the position to repay his debts. So a number of times the king has approached for getting his debts back. One fine day, when the king went and asked the merchant for the debt, he saw the merchant's daughter, who was very young and very beautiful. And the king obviously liked to marry her. So at that moment, he called the business person, the merchant, and said, will you get your daughter get married to me? I will actually resolve you from all the debts. The merchant was stuck because the girl is very young and beautiful, but the king is actually, aged person. So he has actually raised his daughter just like a princess, and he does not want his daughter to get married in this way to get cleared of debts. He don't want his daughter to get married to the king, but he don't have any other way because he need to repay his debts. At this moment, he went to the home and discussed about all these things which is happening between the king and himself with his daughter. The daughter was worried, but is very intelligent. So what she said is, okay, fine, I'll marry the king, but I have a condition. that we'll have a bag in which there'll be two stones, pebbles, one black pebble and white pebble. So if I'm going to pick a black pebble, the king need not marry me and the debts get resolved. If I'm going to pick white pebble, let the king marry me and my debts get resolved. This is the condition of the girl. And it was informed to the king. But the king was actually having a cruel idea. So what he did is, he just dropped two white pebbles in the bag. And anyhow, the girl found out the cruel idea of the king. And on the day, what she did is, while picking up a stone, she picked up one stone and dropped that in the water. Now, there's one white pebble inside the bag. What she picked up was also a white pebble, but she dropped that in water in such a way that nobody knows which color she picked. But what she did is, she said, if white color pebble is there in the bag, then obviously I would have picked up black color pebble. It means that you need not marry me and my dad's debt all get resolved. So what the girl did was also out of the box thinking. I think these stories would have actually made you understand. So that's how that design thinking is out of the box thinking. It's all general things, general skills, which everybody does not have. Some of them think in a way where we get innovative thinking ideas. But when these are some examples. So here, in producing the remotes, it's a universal remote with more number of buttons. You don't know which one to use. And, still we don't know the need of some buttons, right? We use only less number of buttons, but some buttons are never been used, but we don't know why it is there in the remote. So it's they have complexity is high in this particular remote. So the producers has to think in such a way that it's very easy to operate and the user is very convenient in the product. So the user's requirements and the ease of use is very much supported in producing a product. So nowadays in business, they've been thinking about the users' requirements. So design thinking is applied, and that's how we got smart TV remote with less number of buttons. And now we have, even in mobiles also we can operate. So everything is made easy. So this is also called design thinking. An example, another one. So, like tomato ketchup came in a bottle where we use only, 99% of the tomato ketchup, and 1% just stick over to the bottle itself. It does not, in the bottom, it has some ketchup that does not come out. But when this particular tomato ketchup has been converted into a squeezing type of bottle, the entire products can be used. So there's no way of wastage. So here also people have applied design thinking. This is design thinking process, like where it starts and how it goes. So it starts with empathy and define, ideate, prototype, and at last testing. These process does not follow any specific orders. The sequence is not going to be the same. It can be either or. Okay. Now, what is empathy? Empathy is a business person has to give attention to the client's requirement, what actually the client needs. When the needs are identified by the business persons or any manufacturers, so they produce a product according to the requirement of the client, because any business person cannot produce any product of his own and sell it in the market. Whoever be, they have to find out, they have to just get into the market, do the research and identify what is the need of the customer. Only when needs are identified, products can be produced accordingly. So in design thinking also, client's requirement is at most important. And the next step would be finding a solution to users' problem. So existing product can be giving some problems to the consumers. So that can be identified, and solution can be, you can actually deviate, finding the solution, and then after finding it, it helps the designer to reach success, because when you redefine it with a solution, then the problem gets solved. Ultimately, the client's requirements are also met. This is defined. So here, after finding out what actually the consumers need, then they have to encourage the team to gather useful techniques. So what are the other techniques through which actually the product can be done? And they have to solve some challenges with least difficulties. So in all business concerns, there's a lot of challenges, and we have all people who will actually solve that in a short time. In ideate is nothing but giving ideas. So in this term, it gives priority and creativity so that more number of ideas can be bought, because we identified the needs and the problems are also identified. Now we need to go with ideas how these problems can be actually solved. So in business concern, they actually perform ideation sessions. So with talking with more number of people, each people will actually give you different ideas. So when one person thinks, his perspective alone can be done. With more number of people, there are more perspectives, more ideas. So in those ideas, a new idea can be actually searched, and this can be again said in a good way, like brainstorming activity, where people can be put in brainstorming activity and finding out new ideas. So once the idea is found, then your experiments can be done. So fixing of errors and doing that experiments, coming up with a new product. So that's how mini version comes, and it will also validate with the solution, and at last you have low fidelity and medium fidelity. So in low fidelity is actually the design stage of the product, like before producing a product, how the product actually looks like. But in medium fidelity, like the close of the product, like the before step of the finished product. So just like the product, there's some touch up to be done. That's how medium fidelity means. And testing, almost your product is done. Now the product has been sold in the market, and at last getting feedbacks. So user feedback is actually very important, because feedbacks is the one which the company can identify whether the product has met their requirements, whether the satisfaction level is met. So everything can be done based on the user feedback. Every company gives importance to the user feedback, because feedback is very important for learning, and because like here and there, even the people or business, getting feedback is very important. They can improve themselves, and their product can be developed. Even though like whether it's going to be a positive feedback or negative feedback, there's a lot to learn from that. So it's just a general thing. So in empathy, they get ideas about the needs of the consumers, requirements of consumers are gathered, and then the problems are being defined, because before defining the problem, you cannot actually gather idea, because identifying the problem is very important. You have to appropriately find out the problem, and based on the problem, you need to go with gathering of ideas. So ideas can be generated through brainstorming. Because like n number of ideas to be generated, in that best among that can be actually selected, and after getting an idea, that can be built with potential solutions, and that can be sent for testing, because once you produce and then before testing, nothing that gets to the market, and after that you have to get feedbacks so that your model can be done. So these are actually the process, and he is actually Steve Jobs. So he said, design is not just what it looks like, it's how it works. Because, giving a beautiful product, or the design looks nice, but you don't know how to operate it. And it's not the basic of the product, right? It's utter waste of producing a product when consumer does not know how to use it. So the design is actually how it works. So it has to work in such a way that the consumer feel comfort in using the product, and the consumer has to satisfy the product when they're using it. I would go with some of the case studies. So just very famous, we all know Apple. So Apple has been the pioneer in design thinking, because they started using design thinking before their products being designed. So here, this design thinking was actually applied in iPhone, one of the best iPhone, like one of the best mobile that's been there worldwide. Everybody have a dream of buying iPhone, right? Yeah. So it's the best example for design thinking, because Apple developed iPhones. So they actually developed iPhones with user interface. So user interface is actually finding out the needs and user friendly softwares that can be installed in the mobile phone, so which the consumers use. I mean, when consumer use, they feel very satisfied, and they get more happy using it. And they have actually done a lot of extensive research, and they find out that they can understand user behaviors, and they can actually find out the pain points and desires of the product. Okay, so after identifying the consumer's needs, requirements, behaviors, everything, they adopted a design thinking, and based on that, they came up with a revolutionary product. That the touch interface was changed in the overall smartphone industry. Apple came up with a best solution for that. So they focused on user experience combined with iterative prototyping and user feedback. So here, Apple invests heavily in user research to anticipate what customers want before they even realize it themselves. Okay, so I think every time when Apple is coming with a new product, they actually does a lot of research. They find out consumers' problems. Like last year, when iPhone 15 and the series was actually introduced, at the initial stage, people felt a lot of problems with heating issues in the iPhone. So when they were actually simply not at the time of charging, but even at the time of using the iPhone 15, some of the consumers actually experienced heating issues. That was the complaint raised, and Apple instantly came up with a solution of giving an update. So once the update was done, most of the iPhone users felt the heating issues was resolved. So it was because of the Pro chip which was installed in the iPhone. And so every product has been customized with the needs of the consumers. Any problems, they actually immediately take solutions. And that's how Apple actually approached iPhone, iPad, MacBook, all things. So this design thinking actually redefined the entire industry. The way they think about the product and the users' behaviors, everything is very important, and it's all because of design thinking. And this is actually case 2, which is Oral-B's electric toothbrush. So we all know there's toothbrush, a normal one, which we use with our own hand. But Procter & Gamble, they came up with a new brand, with, again, under the product of Oral-B. But this is actually an electric toothbrush working with batteries. So you just need not give movement. It will it works on its own, right? So here Oral-B have been given design thinking in producing this product. So by applying this design thinking approach, they have transformed the world of oral hygiene with its electric toothbrush. It's an innovative product, right? We do not imagine that we'll have an electric toothbrush, but that's there. So this Oral-B's journey with design thinking began by placing the user firmly at the center of their product development process. So they have also done a lot of extensive research, and they have got a lot of feedbacks from consumers. So based on that, they want to improve on oral care habits like preference and pain points. So this gave them a user-centric approach. So they started producing a product with electric toothbrush. It's not just going to be, it's not going to clean the teeth alone, but also make the entire oral care routine more engaging and enjoyable. Okay, so nobody thought that this kind of toothbrush would be there in the market unless it has been produced. But I hope these products have been practically used in developed countries. But in our country, I think there's minimum number of people using this kind of brush. And I hope in near future, the people identifies the products, and if it's affordable for the people, they would have also use this. So every product in the market are being only for the satisfaction of consumers. So obviously, consumers' needs will be satisfied because of design thinking. Now, this is case study 3, Tesla. We all know what is Tesla. It's very Elon Musk to actually redefine the automotive industry by applying design thinking to electric vehicles. So before the invent of electric vehicles, we don't have electric vehicles. We have petrol and diesel vehicles, which actually working on fuels. But now it's again who applied design thinking, out of the box thinking. They have thought that why can't we produce a product without petrol and diesel, without fuels, whether it goes with electricity, and that's how it paved way for electric vehicles. So Musk and his team actually identified the need for electric vehicles because it's not going to be not just eco-friendly, but also desirable. So they focused on designing electric vehicles, and even electric vehicles should be very stylish. It also should be high performing and advanced technologies to be used. So they came up with Teslas, and they applied iterative approach, rapid prototyping, and constant refinement. And it resulted in producing the products like Model S, and then Model 3 and Model X. So these are the various Tesla models which has been produced by Elon Musk in electric vehicle models. And apart from this Model S, which is going to have an autopilot self-driving system, that is, you don't have to drive. Once if the destination has been actually selected, it actually automatically goes, and if the navigation points, everything is been installed. And it's all the sensors, everything has been installed, and it's very easy. Even if you don't know how to drive, you can actually go into the car and then fix up the point where you want to be dropped. So that's the advanced technology which has been used in developed countries. So it is all because of design thinking that people are able to come up with a new product. Like, not every business person can actually produce in such a way. Only when any person who thinks out of the box, they can actually come up with innovative products like this. So now the company is actively seeking feedback from user community. So user communities, like whoever uses the products, have a lot of feedbacks, either going to be a positive feedback or the negative, but the Tesla is going to learn from that. And if it's going to be a positive approach, positive feedback, it's very happy. But even the compliance of the products can also be appreciated, because only when the compliance are being corrected, redefined, the problems are redefined, then more number of consumers will purchase the product. And when consumers get satisfied, however, your product will reach heights. So that's how Tesla also come up with design thinking. And this is actually Uber Eats. So, Uber Eats also approached, applied design thinking, because you all know what is Uber. Uber is actually a kind of cab booking app, where we want to go to one place, we book a cab. And later on, they actually started with Uber Eats. So it's a subsidiary company of Uber. So this Uber Eats is actually just like Swiggy and Zomato, which is going to deliver food to the people. So, Uber Eats delivered a design thinking approach just to enhance user experience and create a seamless platform for food lovers and restaurants. These food delivering partners, third-party food delivering partners, are actually linking the restaurants and the consumers of food, right? Because anybody who do not have time to go out and have food, or who are very comfortable sitting at home, so whatever reason maybe, so they instantly actually book their food through these apps. So now Uber Eats wants to become more popular. So what they did is, they actually had a user-centric approach. They conducted an in-depth research, and they understand the pain points of both consumers and restaurants. So they actually crafted a solution which will actually address the real-world challenges. So Uber Eats actually developed a user-friendly app. User-friendly app is actually, there should be ease of use, and then consumers should be able to identify the restaurants and the food items available, the prices, everything should be easily understood. They can just like that order the food. So that's user friendly. There should not any complexity in understanding the app, because when you don't know how to use the app, obviously you cannot actually order the food. So when you're going to come up with a new app, then that should be user friendly. Only then a number of people can actually use, and they get satisfied in using it. So that particular app should give a lot of varieties of cuisines, personalized recommendations, and personalized recommendations every time when we purchase some products, then the third time they will give us some recommendation that you can actually try this product, which because based on your further last purchase, these are the recommendations. That's how it gives you before like you get into and type the product. They give you some recommendations because that is based on your previous purchases. And the real-time tracking, you want to know where your food is, whether the food has been ordered, and then the first thing is the order get placed, and then your order comes to the third-party, Uber Eats delivery partner, and then he might be coming from one restaurant to your home. The route map has been visible to you, so you can track them. The real-time tracking is done where you can identify currently where the delivery person is. So you can identify how long it takes to reach your home. So that's all user-friendly app that's developed by Uber Eats, and it gives it has to create preference of consumers. And at last, Uber Eats leverage technology and data-driven insight to optimize delivery routes, because delivery routes and delivery time, it's very important. Anytime when we order, we want the food to be delivered at the shortest time, and the food should be hot. It should be very fresh, and it should reach us at a small time. We don't want to spend more time in waiting for the food. So Uber Eats actually came up with a technology-driven insight so that the shortest route can be identified, so that the delivery partner can adopt that route and then deliver your food with small time, shortest time, and then the food is very fresh and very hot. That's what the consumers require. And the platform also empowers restaurant owners with tools to efficiently manage orders, because these orders are being done by consumers, but still it's again going to be the restaurant owners who are going to manage the orders, so that they are going to track the performance and expand the customer base, because expanding the customer base is very important. Because when there are some customers who go to restaurants and have their food, but still they have a number of customers who have been outside, who are ordering foods through Uber Eats or Zomato or Swiggy. So whatever it is, any restaurant who wants to flourish their business, they need to go and expand their customer base. That's very important in all the business ways. Consumers are very important. Consumers are the blood of business. If there's no consumers, your business is nothing. If any business person has crores of money, they cannot actually design a product according to their desires and then sell a product. Nobody will buy. Any person, they have to identify the customer's needs, what customer actually needs. When a business person is able to identify the needs of consumers, and when he produces a product accordingly to the needs of the consumers, and when the requirements are met, obviously the product is success. So this is just case studies of Uber Eats. So here it's actually a goal of design thinking. So design thinking focuses on creativity. So creativity which is actually very new, right? Like everybody gives you an idea, but somebody gives you an innovative idea, like creative idea. The creativity is there in their thinking itself. So you have to think any product to be designed, creativity is very important. So a normal product doesn't mean sold in the market will not compete with a product which has been creative in design or creative in the usage. So any product which is to be produced, then there should be creativity in producing the product. So any person who's going to use design thinking, then there should be creativity in what they do. And innovations, so innovating new products. So not the old one. Like after globalization, there are a number of innovations happening, because we need to compete with the global market. Consumers actually, business people started producing innovative products more creatively. They started producing innovative products just to compete with the world market. The global market is very big, and we need to compete with some other countries. So when you produce a product innovatively, obviously it will actually survive in the market. So you want to give a new product. You should not produce a product which is already existing in the market. Nobody is going to buy. What's new in your product? What's the advantages? What's the benefit? What is the new uses that creates? So that's how it runs. So innovation is very important. in design thinking. And at last, it is user centricity. It means that any product produced, it should be produced based on the requirements of the users. You cannot produce what you have or what you like. I mean, the business person cannot produce what he likes. He has to understand the needs of consumers, and then he has to produce. So every time when you are thinking about a product to be produced, you need to first think about the human. What actually the human require? What's the needs of the human? So that when the accordingly, a product can also be produced. So design thinking should always focus on user centricity. So at the end result, then customers are going to use it. So it has to be produced in such a way the user gets satisfied. So there's some goals of in that goals, focus on solutions should be there. So desirable for the future user. So the user has to like your product. It should be desirable. Like the product should be creative, and you have to innovatively produce a product so that your user actually get desire about the product. Like he has to like your product. If he don't like, he will not actually buy your product. So users' desire is very important. And it should be viable for business. Viable is feasible. It's feasible. It should be feasible for any kind of business. So only feasible things can be done in the business, right? So you have to check whether your thinking, the product design or all the things are being viable for the business. And at last, you have to think about the technologically feasible. Technologically feasible in the sense, nowadays, after the advent of technology, we are very much feasible with technologies, because whatever products we produce, we apply design thinking. There's technology which has been playing a major role. For example, we talked about Apple, and then we talked about Tesla, and we talked about Oral-B electric toothbrush also. You all know, like in all these products, technology plays a major role. Without technology, these products would have been not made. So, it's technology, even though human thinking is there, design thinking is there, and out-of-box thinking is there, like whatever it is, you would have, the out-of-box thinking is very good, but still, if you don't have technology to produce it, your product cannot be, a tangible product may not come in the market. So, to make your intangible ideas into a tangible product, in between the things, you have various things to be connected with. So technology plays a major role in that. Without technology, you cannot produce, you have high thinking level, but that can be made true only with the help of technology. So design thinking focus on all solutions, like your technology should be there. And at last, thank you. Sekhar sir.
Ma'am?
Yes, sir. So I think I have done with the topic.
Okay. Participants, please unmute your mic. If you have any doubt, you can ask here.
Hello.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am. It was a nice presentation, and the strategy that you have used is totally quite interesting. Lot of case studies. But I have one question.
Yes,
Since
sir.
most of us are from the education background and we are teaching in the school and colleges,
Yes,
so
sir.
how should we use this design thinking and strategic thinking strategies in our administrative and teaching approaches? Some examples or some cases.
Yes. Sir, can I know which class you have been teaching, sir?
I'm a teacher educator.
Yes, sir. For school or college, sir?
Teacher educator, ma'am. College. B.Ed.
Fine. Thank you. So, sir, nowadays after post-corona, we have been trained in using online classes. We use Google Classrooms, and we have a lot of, equizzes.com to conduct tests, and a number of online platforms are now available. So, apart from chalk and board teaching, if we give them some other kind of teaching where you can give them assignments, and then you can come up with picturized teaching methods where you can actually teach with only pictures. You need not give them concepts in text. Just explain the concept with pictures. That will make them understand more clearly. That's out of box thinking. You can think. You can actually give them kind of activity where they will actually work. So it's just like a blended mode. So when assignments or some other online modes are being used, I think nowadays after post-corona, people are very much interested with different way of learning rather than books and notes learning. So it's we the teachers who have to adopt to the latest technologies and give them in a different way of teaching, so that I think people gets very happy in learning.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely true. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, participants.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.